it up. You know who stunk it up even more than the big three is the head coach, Stephanie White. Was piss poor. Natalie Nakase completely outcoached her. Stephanie White is about to cast blame on everyone else, take no accountability in this post game. Let's get into it, man.
That was Stephanie White, the head coach of the Indiana Fever. And what you just witnessed is a complete and total failure of leadership. This past week, the Fever suffered a disgusting, uninspired loss to the Golden State Valkyries. And instead of taking an ounce of accountability, Stephanie White spent her entire post-game press conference casting blame on everyone else. Make no mistake about it, the Indiana Fever head coach publicly blamed her players and refused to acknowledge her own coaching failures after the Golden State loss. This is a pattern we are seeing week in and week out. The Indiana franchise player is being hung out to dry by the very person paid to put her in a position to win. But that is not even the worst part. Watch what happens next when the media calls her out on the actual execution on the floor.
Thanks, man.
What did you like about those final two shots, both the one before the jump ball and then the one to try and tie it?
I thought they were both good looks. You know, they're a really good defensive team. And when you get an opportunity...
Look at the disconnect here. The media asks Stephanie White what she liked about the final execution, and she claims they were good looks. She is completely blind to the reality of what is happening on the hardwood. Let me tell you something. The execution was not good. It was chaotic, it was disorganized, and it looked like a team that has never run a situational practice in their lives. Caitlin Clark is out there trying to execute, drawing double teams, making the right basketball plays, and the coaching staff has provided zero structure behind her. And the frustration inside that locker room is starting to boil over. Listen to how Aliyah Boston responds when pressed about the physical layout of the game.
For Boston, just what kind of challenges defensively did the Valkyries present from an athleticism standpoint?
I mean, yeah, they're big. They're pretty long. I think on some of those traps, they were able to get in the passing lanes a little bit. But I mean, they're just super athletic. They're an athletic group. And
the players are feeling the pressure because they are being completely out-schemed. Natalie Nakase, the head coach for Golden State, coached absolute circles around Stephanie White in this game. They threw traps, they threw length, they disrupted the passing lanes, and the Fever had absolutely no counterpunch. That is the third time this month we have seen an opposing coaching staff completely neutralize the Fever's offensive flow, and it is the exact reason why fans are growing completely fed up with the lack of adjustments. But it gets worse. Instead of addressing why the team was unprepared for the traps, the coaching staff and the players are shifting the focus onto the officiating. Watch this.
Had those two early fouls and had to sit for most of the first half. How does that affect your flow and your speed?
yeah, I mean, I wasn't even able to get into a flow. I mean, I played the second half. I think it's super hard to try and figure out and understand how the refs are calling it. I think it's super hard to get charge fouls when I don't think anyone's in legal position. I mean, shout out to the Valks. I mean, they did a great job selling it, and the refs bought it, to be honest, so good for them.
When you start blaming the referees for your foul trouble, instead of looking in the mirror, you have already lost the mental battle. Aliyah Boston is in foul trouble almost every single night, regardless of which crew is working the game. That is not a referee issue. That is a discipline issue, and discipline comes directly from the head coach. The Valkyries were physical, they were aggressive, and they forced Indiana into mistakes because Indiana was completely ill-prepared. And what comes next is the moment that broke this whole thing wide open.
When are you going to talk about your coaching? When are you going to talk about you not having your team ready in practice? When are you going to talk about anything that you did wrong? Natalie Nakase coached circles around you, Stephanie White. When are you going to address it? Your team looked ill-prepared. We look unprepared damn near every game. This was ridiculous. We looked ill-prepared out there tonight, Stephanie White. What are you talking about? You're talking about everything except your ass.
This is the smoking gun right here. The head coach is talking about white noise, talking about the crowd, talking about everything except her own subpar game plan. Make no mistake about it. Calling your team's execution fine and ignoring the tactical breakdown is a public deflection of a major coaching failure. Stephanie White is out there treating a professional basketball game like a casual exhibition, while Caitlin Clark is getting blanketed 94 feet up the court. The media pushed her on how the defense targeted Clark, and her response should terrify every single Fever fan in the country. Watch this response closely.
Second straight game in here where Caitlin Clark had a tough shooting game. Are there any similarities to how they guarded her last year to this year? Is there any different wrinkles at the team?
I mean, I don't know. I think
Did you catch that? The head coach of a professional basketball team was asked about the specific similarities in how defenses are tracking her generational superstar from last year to this year. And her literal response was, "I don't know." Let that sink in for a second. You have the most electric, high-impact player in the history of women's basketball on your roster. And when asked how the opposition is shutting her down, your answer is that you do not know. If you watched that and thought that's not right, you are exactly right. It is completely unacceptable. Because the real story isn't just what happened tonight. It's what this means for everything coming next.
To how they guarded her last year to this year? Is there any different wrinkles at the team?
I mean, I don't know. I think she gets guarded a certain way all the time. 94 feet, lots of physicality. You're not going to give her any easy looks. And she had a lot of tough contested shots. And so I think they're an excellent defensive team. And when they can get their defense set, I felt like they really dictated the pace and tempo because they were able to set their defense. A lot of that came from our fouls, putting them at the free throw line. So they did what they were supposed to.
She says they dictate the pace and tempo because they set their defense. Well, why did they set their defense? Because the Fever offense has no secondary actions. Caitlin Clark is being forced to play on an island. She is getting blitzed, she is getting trapped, she is getting hit with physical, borderline dirty defense, and her head coach has no answers, no adjustments, and no counters. When you show up to a high-stakes professional game, and your lead strategist openly admits she has no idea how to free up her franchise player, the experiment is officially over. Watch the body language of the players on the floor. They know they are swimming upstream without a paddle.
Nothing. You put her out there on the island. The girl gets blitzed and trapped all game. You created nothing for Caitlin Clark. You created nothing for Caitlin Clark. They're asking you about the similarities and how they're guarding her. You're saying you don't know. Maybe that's why you have no idea on how to free her up. You don't know. You don't know nothing. You never know anything. I don't know. Oh yeah, I don't know. What? What?
You cannot get her free because you do not understand the defense. It is that simple. This coaching staff needs to be packed up and sent away, because this current trajectory is destroying a championship window before it even opens. This isn't the first time the basketball establishment has tried to neutralize a generational talent through sheer passivity from the coaching staff. Back in 1997, during the inaugural seasons, we saw older coaches completely fail to adapt to modern offensive stars. In 2008, Candace Parker faced immense physical opposition her rookie year, but her staff adjusted the spacing immediately to protect her. The pattern here is clear. When a player changes the entire economic structure of a sport, the baseline coaching must elevate. We saw it then, and we are failing to see it now in Indiana. And here is what other veteran minds across the league are starting to notice.
This coach has got to go, man. Stephanie White, you got to pack her up. You got to pack her up, guys. I'm sorry, man. This Stephanie White experiment needs to be done. It needs to be over with. It's cooked. It's cooked. The lady has no answers. She has no idea. She has no counter. She has no adjustments. She's awful. She let Veronica Burton go one-on-one all game for the second game in a row. Didn't blitz her. Blitzed her one time all night. And it worked. It worked. The one time she blitzed her, it worked. And she never went back to it.
They left one-on-one matchups out there without sending help. They refused to blitz the ball handlers when it counted. And the one single time they actually ran a hard double team, it caused a turnover. And what did Stephanie White do? She never went back to it the rest of the night. That is a total abandonment of in-game adjustments. Let's look at this from multiple angles. First, the front office angle. This lack of structure is actively damaging the long-term asset value of your franchise player. Second, the locker room angle. When a coach publicly says, "I don't know," regarding the star player's coverage, it completely erodes the team's trust in the playbook. Third, the fan angle. People are paying hard-earned money to see high-level basketball, not a disorganized scramble. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the 2026 season? It means three distinct things are about to happen. Number one, every single defensive coordinator in this league just watched this tape and realized they can use the exact same Golden State blueprint to frustrate Clark. Number many, free agents who want to play with Clark are going to look at this coaching staff and think twice before signing on the dotted line in 2027. And number three, ownership is going to be forced to step in if this regression continues. And here is the one thing nobody is talking about. The biggest consequence of all is still coming.
Just how much fun is it to play in an environment where everyone's booing you and just to have that?
I mean, I think you're used to it. I mean, in college, obviously, you play in sold-out arenas, and then to come here, you continue to play in sold-out arenas. You know everyone's going to show up, but I mean, it's fun. I mean, this is what you played professional basketball for: to travel, to have people boo you when you run out, but also to continue to show up and play your best game. And so the energy in this building is always super high. It's always exciting to play. But I mean, once you're in the game, you're really focused on what you're doing.
Many of you in the comments section have been saying exactly this for weeks. You saw the lack of offensive sets before the mainstream media even picked up on it. You called out the coaching staff's stubbornness during the early season road trips. And tonight, every single one of you got proven completely right. The fans understand the urgency. You cannot waste years of a superstar's prime trying to figure out basic defensive coverages that high school coaches can solve. When a head coach tells the media her star isn't running the team effectively, but offers no tactical assistance to open up space, the accountability falls squarely on the clipboard. Stephanie White has run out of excuses, and this franchise has to make a definitive choice before the season completely slips away. Is Stephanie White the right person to lead Caitlin Clark, or is it time for the Fever to move on immediately? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to keep the vision alive.